The crash came first, a sharp clatter of glass and metal that sliced through the easy daytime hum of the roadside bar, and then the scream, short, stunned, and swallowed by silence. Every head turned as the biker's chair scraped back, his broad shadow cutting across the sunlit floor, and in a single ugly moment his hand caught the edge of the waitress's shirt. Fabric tore. Time slowed. What was revealed froze the whole bar, not because of scandal, but because of truth laid bare where no one expected it. If you believe in kindness and second chances, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Threads of Kindness. Stories like this remind us that compassion can change everything. The bar was called Sunline, a place that smelled of coffee, lemon cleaner, and old wood warmed by noon light. Outside, trucks idled and cicadas sang, while inside, Mara Ellison moved from table to table with practiced calm. She was 28, soft-spoken, and carried herself like someone used to keeping the peace. Tips paid her rent, patience paid her sanity. She worked days because nights were louder, rougher, and because daylight felt safer. Today had been ordinary until the biker arrived, boots heavy, jacket worn thin at the elbows, a man named Rafe Calder whose face held more road than rest. Rafe hadn't come looking for trouble. He was passing through, thirsty, tired, and weighed down by the kind of memories that hum under the skin. The bar buzzed with a baseball game on mute, sunlight striping the counter. When Mara reached for a glass behind him, a stool tipped, a drink spilled, and the world tilted. His arm swung out instinctively to steady himself. The tear was accidental, but accidents can still hurt. Gasps rippled. Someone laughed nervously. Someone else cursed under their breath. What the room saw when the fabric parted wasn't skin meant for judgment. It was a constellation of scars, pale and deliberate, crossing Mara's ribs like old maps. Beneath them, taped neatly against her side, was a medical port, small, clinical, unmistakable. Survival etched into flesh. The laughter died. Even the game seemed to pause. The bartender stopped polishing. The sun kept shining, merciless and honest. Mara felt the heat rise in her face, the familiar urge to shrink. She had learned to move fast, to fix spills and swallow stares. She turned away, fingers trembling as she pressed the torn shirt together. The room's silence felt heavier than noise ever could. Years ago, she had survived a crash that should have ended everything. Recovery had been long, lonely, and expensive. The scars were proof of surgeries, the port a lifeline she still needed. She didn't hide because she was ashamed. She hid because explaining took energy she rarely had. Rafe saw it all and felt something inside him lock into place. He knew scars. He knew what it meant to be reduced to a body marked by pain, to be judged by a single moment. He took off his jacket without ceremony, the leather warm from the sun, and held it out with hands that no longer shook. The gesture wasn't loud. It was careful. The bar breathed again. The bartender nodded once, slow and respectful, and slid a fresh shirt across the counter, one kept for spills and emergencies. Someone paid Mara's tab in advance. Someone else left a folded bill with a note she didn't read yet. Kindness moved like a quiet current, subtle but unstoppable. The moment passed, but it didn't disappear. Mara stepped into the back to change, heart pounding, then returned with her shoulders squared. Work resumed. Coffee poured. The sun climbed. Rafe finished his drink and waited, not because he expected forgiveness, but because he understood accountability. When he stood to leave, he left more than money. He left the jacket draped over the back of her chair, a simple shield against curious eyes, and a card with a repair shop address scribbled on it. Not a promise. An option. Hours later, as the lunch rush thinned, Mara finally read the note tucked with the tip. It wasn't an apology dressed up in bravado. It was a sentence about seeing her strength and hoping the road treated her gently. She folded it carefully and placed it in her pocket, where it rested against her heartbeat. If the story touched your heart, please engage with the video. Your likes, shares, and subscriptions help stories of compassion reach the people who need them most. Before the ending, a special request: comment below what kindness means to you, or share a moment when someone's small act changed your day. When the door closed behind Rafe and the bar returned to its sunlit calm, something had shifted. Mara finished her shift lighter than she began it, not because the scars were gone, but because they had been met with humanity instead of hunger. Outside, the road stretched on, forgiving and wide. Inside, a waitress kept working, a biker kept riding, and a roomful of strangers learned that sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is cover someone else with dignity when the world tries to tear them open.